We're not talking about a ton of severe weather across the country, but there should be a lot of storms nationwide, and we are going to break that down for you through the course of this video. What's going on, guys? Certified meteorologist Jonathan Kagas back with you. We're going to start from west to east and kind of bounce around back down to the south, talk about the setup. We'll show you that high resolution future radar, and then toward the end of the video, we will talk tropics. If you're interested in that, you can skip ahead. I will have the time codes and the chapters, although I'd love it if you hang out with us for the entirety of the video, but I know your time is valuable. Before we break down all of this weather stuff, if you want to join the newly founded Just Weather Garbage Crew to help point out some of the trash on social media and some of the garbage being shared across the board, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Again, if you love to talk weather, this is the place to be in this growing weather community, more than 100,000 strong. Appreciate the support. So now let's get to the weather. Starting out to the west, jet stream going to be blasting across the northwestern tier of the country, really across the northern tier of the country, and that's where we're going to find storm chances developing, especially tomorrow afternoon. You see there in that yellow bubble there highlighted from really southeastern Montana, eastern Montana, through parts of the second half of Idaho, into the northern part of Utah, and into a good chunk of Wyoming. Yellowstone National Park included in this for some storms to fire up. I'll show you the future radar coming up in just 1 second. I want to take you further east as the jet stream kind of blasts across the upper Midwest. That storm chance is going to continue from about Rapid City through southern Minnesota, North Iowa. If you're traveling I-90 tomorrow, just be on that's going to be Wednesday as I'm recording this video on a Tuesday. Just be mindful that, again, there's going to be some pop-up storms coming through as that jet stream is going to aid in that storm development. You see those green arrows representing the flow there. We could have some training thunderstorms that could bring out some potential flooding issues as well, especially in parts of southern South Dakota and into southern Minnesota. Bouncing down to the south, and then we'll go over to that high resolution future radar. Storm potential, the best opportunity for severe weather tomorrow, likely going to be in parts of Texas. You see that big L in the panhandle, and you will see the swirl evident on future radar, which I'll show you in just 1 second. But really from the Rio Grande through Austin, back into Houston, Corpus Christi, that's going to be our best shot for some strong to severe thunderstorms. And again, that's going to be, I think, relatively speaking, the highest chance across the country to pop a few of those stronger thunderstorms. Again, that's going to be on Wednesday. So here we go, starting off with the high resolution future radar to kind of put all of the pattern into perspective here, actually how it impacts you. We're going to start things off Wednesday morning, likely a couple of showers going on in parts of Texas and into the eastern seaboard, but things really start to ramp up a little bit in terms of went a little too far. Let me go back. In terms of the thunderstorm chance, as we get deeper into the afternoon, as you might imagine, with the heating of the day, there's the swirl. Pay close attention down here. That low pressure kind of works its way back down south, and you're going to see these storms kind of pinwheel around each other. There's that cluster number one that we talked about. So let's take a closer look here. In and around Billings, there's Yellowstone National Park, Idaho Falls included in this. Again, not a ton of severe weather. A rogue strong thunderstorm certainly going to be possible, but watching for the potential for some flooding, as we always have to do with heavy rain when that meets terrain. Back towards southern Minnesota, we have this kind of cluster of thunderstorms that's going to be pushing that way. So Rochester, shout out to southeast Minnesota, into Minneapolis as well, involved in that. Let's take it back down to the south. This is where things could be at their strongest, at least on a more widespread scale. And there again is that swirl. Nasty thunderstorms likely through late tomorrow afternoon, early into the evening. This is 6 Eastern, 5 o'clock Central. And you see that kind of appendage of strong thunderstorms from southeast corner of Oklahoma down into New Orleans, and then back through San Antonio, Austin, eventually moving into Houston later on into the evening. And you see that line of thunderstorms really congealing. And there's 9, 10 o'clock. So some late night thunderstorms likely happening as we move into the evening hours into Houston, Galveston, the Gulf Coast of Texas. Continuing into Florida, especially in the Sunshine State and parts of the Southeast, we took a little bit of a break from our rainy season that Didn't officially start yet because we had another cold front come through, but now I think this is going to be the start of it. Some drought busting rains are going to be likely over the next couple of days here. Strong Bermuda high, you see it chilling out there by Bermuda. That's going to induce that southeasterly wind flow off of the Caribbean, extreme southwest Atlantic, and then pull that tropical moisture back into the Sunshine State. When the sea breeze gets going, we will be watching for some isolated strong thunderstorms, widespread thunderstorms, but a few of those could get rowdy. The same thing going to be happening on Tuesday night. Tropically speaking, we are looking great out there. That was a knock on what is, I hope, a wooden desk. Hardly a cloud in the sky through most of the main development region. Southwest and North Atlantic looking good too. None of this stuff is threatening. You see a couple of swirls up there. Those are non-tropical entities. Taking you through the Gulf, nothing really getting going. There's that storm system on the eastern seaboard, not expected to aid in any kind of tropical development either. There is the active Eastern Pacific. The only kind of lone hiccup that we're watching for impacts is in the extreme Southern Caribbean. Tropical wave here, and you see that kind of strung out like a string bean from about Trinidad and Tobago, parts of the Windward Islands, and then all the way back out, kind of paralleling parts of South America. That's where we're going to have, I think, the biggest opportunity for some flooding here. This tropical wave is not expected to develop. This is pretty normal for this time of the year. Still, though, impactful for our friends in parts of the islands, especially Trinidad and Tobago. We do have a lot of heavy rain coming through over the next couple of days. This is going to be the European model forecast until about 3 o'clock on Friday afternoon. And you see it there. European likely underdoing some of these numbers, 2-3 inches there on the model. A lot of times, though, it undersells rainfall, especially tropical moisture. So, I mean, we could easily double this in spots across parts of Trinidad and Tobago and extreme northern South America from this tropical wave sliding through. Again, not a huge deal in terms of any kind of wind or anything like that. It could bring some flooding, but just be mindful that this tropical wave is not expected to develop into anything organized. Tropical climatology, kind of, you are here. No tropical development expected, as I showed you, over the next 7 days. The orange box represents the amount of activity that we have to go. I'm going to show you this probably on a daily basis to kind of shave off as much of that orange shaded area as we can without development through the rest of the season. It'd be great if we can go the entire year without getting anything. That's obviously going to be unlikely, but we're going to keep on shaving this orange shaded color back. And again, that orange box represents the activity still to come. Again, here we are, June 10th. A long way to go, of course. Typically, and we're going to see, I think, a lot of this come out of the woodwork over the next couple of weeks. Mentioned this in yesterday's video that there is a limited window in the Southwest, in the Western Caribbean, Southwest Atlantic over the next 2 weeks for some Atlantic development. Otherwise, I think the Eastern Pacific steals the show. I think what we're going to have coming out is kind of reverse hype and that, oh, the season is over. Kind of like last year where we had Beryl and then we basically had nothing until like October. I think the same thing's going to happen because I mentioned yesterday, and you can check out that video if you'd like, that if we hopefully miss out on a small, not that explosive window on the Atlantic side in a couple weeks, we might go through the entire month of July without any development as well, or limited development. Never want to say never because we could just get a wave to pop up. But the Atlantic will not be favorable, in my opinion, through a big chunk of July. That is also typical. You see the climatology. So that's what I want to stress, that there's also the reverse of, oh my gosh, we're not going to get anything. Forecasts were a bust this year. Same thing happened last year and it turned out to be way above normal. We see the mountain really climb after the middle of August. I believe the stat is after August 20th, we get 85% of the season in terms of storm activity is still to come. So it really puts it into perspective that June and July are typically crickets out there in the Atlantic. So I don't want anyone to let their guard down either as we go forward and track these storms together. Alrighty, guys, remember, if you liked this content, I hope it was helpful. Let me know what you want to see on this channel as well. If there's something that you would like to see more of, something that you hate, Again, this is a two-way street on the channel. We have a weather conversation as we hang out together. So please let me know. I would really love it. I'd love to make this channel better for all of us here as we continue to watch our community get a little bigger as we fight the hype and the misinformation together with sound science and meteorology, because science rules everything. Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Talk to you soon.